Hello, this is Planeswalker72 with my second deck tutorial. This is an Orzhov life game that I built by myself. So first we're gonna take a look at the mana base as usual. So first we have two Godless Shrines, which I will be getting more to replace the tainted fields with. But and this deck isn't entirely standard, so you'd have to get lands to get rid of the two tainted fields. I don't know exactly which set they were first printed in, but I know they weren't reprinted. Sorry, you can't see that. Then two tainted fields. And one Shimmering Grotto. I just kind of threw that in there for a little bit, like mid-game when you have all that mana, but you need more of one color. Then one Guild Gate. Then there's, put them down in sets of 4. Okay. Okay, so that's the mana base. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 plains and 8 swamp. And then now we'll look at the creatures like normal. So we have one Midnight Duelist, one Haunted Ghoul, one Vizkopa Guild Mage, 2 Tide the Drinkers, 1 Ajani Sunstriker, 3 Vampire Nighthawks, 1 Markov Partition, 1 Bloodflow Connoisseur, 1 Ilgad Inquisitor, 1 Zerachi Tiger, 1 Falkenrath Noble, 1 Blood Baron of Vizkopa. This card right here, so it's a good card. It's the only 5-drop in the deck. And, well, for those of you who are just starting out, 5-drop means how much its mana cost is. Well, it's like, this is a Falkenrath Noble's a 4-drop, and whatever its mana cost is. And if it has this is like a $10 card. So if you're just starting out, you probably don't want to spend that much on a deck already. Like my Boros deck that I showed you earlier, I have $80 in that deck. About to be $110 when I buy more shock lands, but for right now, because he has lifelink protection from white and black, and as long as you have 30 or more life, he gains +6/+6 and has flying, so he becomes a 10/10 flyer if you have 30 or more life. That's why it's life gain deck. Next I'll show you the instants. We have 1 Profit and Loss, but you don't really need that in there. You can change it out for like a Victim Knight, Crypt Incursion, stuff like that. So Profit and Loss just to kind of pump your guys up and kill your opponent's creatures. So we have that, and then a Sorin's Thirst just to gain some life. Victim of Night for creature kill. Then a Crypt Incursion in case you're playing against Mill. And then 3 Murders. It's a pretty helpful card. It's kind of like Victim of Night, only it doesn't have any restrictions. Okay, now we're going to look at the sorceries. One of my favorite cards in this deck are in the sorceries. We have Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. You can use that on yourself or your opponent, but usually use it on your opponent. Death Grasp is not in standard, but it's a good card. Just for this, it deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life. 3 Debt to the Deathlesses. It came out in Dragon's Maze. each opponent loses 2 times X life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So like if you have out 4 mana, if you have out 8 mana, and then you pay the 4 for its cost, and then 4X, it would deal 8 damage to your opponent. If you had 5, it would do 10, and you would gain 10 life. So it's just a pretty strong card for life gain. There's 3 of them in there. Essence Drain is a 3 damage target creature player, and you gain 3 life. It's one of the other 5 drops in this deck. Blood Baron of Vizkopa is the only 5 drop in the creatures. Okay, and now we'll move on to the Planeswalkers. We have an Ajani, Caller of the Pride, and a Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. Sorin is a really good card for this because it makes vampires with lifelink. And then you get to destroy creatures and or planeswalkers. Return each card, put it into a graveyard this way in battlefield under your control. So you could kill all, like if your opponent had 3 creatures out, you could kill all 3 of them and bring them to your side of the field pretty much for his ultimate. And then I don't have the emblem for him yet, and it's creatures you control get +1 to their attack. Then a Johnny is kind of a token making kind of card to help with pumping your creatures, and then once you get them up to 8, you get X plus, or you get X 2/2 white cat creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is your life total. It's a pretty good card in a life gain deck, because if you're at like 50 life, you'd get like 50 tokens, 52 too, so you could do 100 damage. So it's just a pretty awesome card for these decks. That kind of deck. So then I'll show you the enchantments. There's 2 Pacifisms and a Nighty Veiler. It's nothing really important. It's a pretty strong deck, and it doesn't cost very much. The most expensive card in here is the Blood Baron of Vizkopa or the Sorin. I'm not really sure, but the Ajani is like at $6 right now. Sorin's at Sorin's at 12. That's at 10. So Blood Baron of Vizkopa is 10. Ajani's 6 and Sorin's 12. So that's like it's $28. So it's a pretty good deck because it doesn't cost much. But then plus the 2 Godless Shrines, $10 a piece. And then the Tainted Fields, unless you get them from the older set, you have to buy the Sorin versus Tibble starter set, or the dual decks. And the Godless Shrines, I bought one and got one in the Selesnya event deck, which I will be showing you guys in another video that I'll do next. So, the Godless Shrine is a pretty good card because it's a shock land. Like I showed you in one of my last tutorial, number 5, other types of land. So this, the Godless Shrine's a shock land, which counts as a swamp and a plain, but they're $10 a piece. So that's adding $20 on, but I only bought one of them, so that's adding on like $10 for me. But for you guys, this is around like 10, 28, 38, 48, and then you can only buy this $22 set unless you have a bunch of old cards like I do. Because I have one from like when it was originally printed. So you'd have to spend like $22 to get the Sorin, or else you'd have to buy the Sorin. But then you'd also get a Tibble. So it's a pretty good deal for like maybe 60, like $70. Most of my decks get a lot more expensive than that, but it's still pretty strong stuff. So for now, YouTube, I'll try to get back to you soon. For now, live long and prosper.